Welcome back to the Patrick Carr Show, everybody. My name is Patrick Carr, as always, your host on this show, if you couldn't get that by the simple title. I love these monologues. We don't have a guest here with us. It's just my chance, hopefully, to bring some insight and some value into your life with some lessons that I've learned and over the years and trying to run this business, my own blue-collar media group, a media company that's based in Florida. We're going live on this episode as well, so there might be a few people who get a chance to get a little bit of a sneak peek at what we're talking about here today. Today's topic is about valuing yourself. This is something that I think at certain points in my life I've done very well at, while at other points I have very much struggled with. If you're anything like me, you might identify with that emotion where you're struggling, right? Some days you're just like, man, you feel like you're on top of the world. And then other days or other weeks will go by where you feel like, hey, I'm not worth very much. And I want to talk today about how do we begin to have more of those moments and those periods of time where we find extreme value in who we are, where we feel we are worthy of love. And I think that if we can string together more of those moments and less moments of uncertainty, then we have a life that's pretty darn good, regardless of what external circumstances throw out our way. So let's talk about that. Jordan Peterson says it this way in his book, 12 Rules for Life, is to treat yourself like you're someone you're responsible for helping. Think about that. If you were responsible for your mother or your father, if you were responsible for a family, if you have a husband and wife, if you're responsible for a team of people, what if you treated yourself like you treat them, like somebody that you care about? So I think that this comes down to the thoughts that we allow to be put into our head, the content that we consume, the things that we allow to dictate our life. If you treated yourself like you were somebody that you loved, you would actually encourage yourself to go after your dreams. If you doubted yourself, you would say, no, don't do that. You're amazing. You're wonderful. You're capable. You're witty. You're smart. All these things that you would tell yourself if you're responsible for helping you. And so I think that's a great way to look at it, as Jordan Peterson says. But how exactly do we do that? How do we therefore find value in ourselves and begin to tell ourselves a different story? Well, I think that's what it starts with, attaching a different story to the things that happen in our life. You see, sometimes you've heard that question, who are you? If somebody asks, well, who are you? I think there was this, I can't remember the movie that it was, but Adam Sandler, it started with like the guy asking, tell us who you are, and he couldn't do it. Anger management, that's what it was, anger management. But if you were to say, who are you? I think that what we are is a collection of stories that we tell ourselves that we've attached to external events that happen in our life. So if, let's just say, I don't know, you're going through your day tomorrow and you're a sales rep and you make a phone call and somebody hangs up on you. You therefore have a story about what that means. Some people just say, that's part of the job. That means I'm one step closer to getting a yes, all those positive things. Another person has a story that, man, I must not be on today. I'm not likable. Man, what am I doing wrong? All because the same exact thing happened, but it's the story that they attach to the external circumstance. There'll be one person who goes through a divorce and they come out on the other end and they become a better person, find a better partner, and their world changes forever. Then we have those other friends, don't we, that they go through something and 10 years later they haven't recovered because of the story they've attached to the circumstance right there. Both of them are awful, but the individual came out on the other end completely different based solely on the story in which they tell themselves, the narrative that they build in their head. And so I think that a good way to begin to value yourself more today is to be cognizant of the stories you tell yourself. So when something bad happens in your life, when something, I guess you'd say, a circumstance happens that's unexpected, what do you tell yourself? And Ed Mylett says there's two ways to look at something bad that happens. You can be that person who says, this always happens to me, or you can be a person that says, that's not like me. Think about that. Small shift in your mindset today that can make a huge change. Is it that always happens to me, this is always like me, or it's not like me when somebody hangs up the phone. It's not like me when they say no to me when I'm on the sales call. It's not like me to show up to work unprepared. It's not like me to not close the deal in that meeting. Or is it always happening to you? This is something you can do, a shift in mindset that's going to help you in your business, going to help you in your life, and how you view yourself and how you value what you bring into the world. Another way to look at this, and I've talked about this on previous episodes, Wayne, who's behind the camera, has heard me say it, is that every negative thought that you have, that has made you devalue who you are was put into your head by somebody else. You allow somebody else to dictate your self-worth somewhere along the way. And if you don't hear anything else in this episode, I pray that you hear this. At some point in your life, you thought you could be Superman and Wonder Woman. You thought you could achieve the world. At some point in your life, you thought you could run a $100 million company, and you started your business. You thought that you were going to tackle it all. Everything was going to be a winner. But then some hardship hit. Maybe your friends told you maybe it's not the right thing for you. You had a mother or father tell you, no, you're not smart enough. You had a friend say, or somebody try to pull you down. And you let their thoughts creep into your mind, and you began to build a narrative within yourself that says you weren't good enough. Not one negative, or not one positive, I should say, not one negative thought was put into your mind by you. And when you begin to realize that, when you take that and you really embody it, that you are in yourself a positive individual, but someone is trying to pull you down and you let them do it. When you begin to release those and begin to look at yourself as someone that you love, as we began to say, wow, what a shift in mindset that could be for your day today. Releasing the thoughts that other people have put into your head and then loving yourself like you're someone that you're responsible for caring about. All of a sudden, man, the world is yours, as an oyster, as they say. And I also say this, if you're going to do that, then what I would tell you to do is do things today that tomorrow you is going to be proud of. These are one of the few things where you can really compare day to day. Somebody says to you, well, you shouldn't judge yourself against other people, judge yourself against who you were yesterday. No, judge yourself against the decisions that you made yesterday. If you could do something today and you put it off to tomorrow, then why? It's because you didn't value who you were tomorrow enough. You valued instant satisfaction, instant, something that you needed now over something that tomorrow. Maybe you valued, I don't know, pornography, or you valued more of your time. You sit around and play video games. You valued food today more than a better body tomorrow. You wanted instant satisfaction is what you wanted. But there's no meaning in that right there. So do something today that tomorrow's self is going to be proud of when you look back on it. That's stacking wins, as we say on this show. So for me, this is often writing scripts. I hate writing scripts. It's the vein of my existence, and I keep trying to tell myself otherwise, but I'm still working on it. But if what I do today is I say I'm going to put that off to tomorrow, that means that tomorrow's task, therefore, gets put off to the next day. I could do it today, but I put it off. And in turn, my thoughts are not on how I'm going to grow my business, but on that thing that I keep on trying to put off right now that I know I don't need to, that I don't like. So I need to do it. And then I need to hire somebody who's better than me at it, and I need to take care of the problem that's at hand. Stop putting things off and then devaluing your future self, because then you look back and it takes away from who you are today by looking in the rearview mirror. If you can do something today, value yourself by doing it. Keep a promise to yourself. And the final thing I'm going to tell you is this on this episode. If you want to value yourself, then give yourself some grace and understand that it's okay to stop a bad decision. It is by far my favorite saying in this world. It is something that has helped me to get me through some of the toughest times that I've had. If you're going through something, a bad decision, it's okay to step away from it. Whatever your vice is, if you're going out and you say, hey, listen, I'm not going to drink tonight, and you have a drink, doesn't mean you need to have 10 more. If you're having an affair with somebody right now, it doesn't mean you have to continue having the affair. It means you can stop that bad decision. If the problem is drugs, just because you do something doesn't mean you can't walk away from the table and stop doing it. If you're stealing or there's theft, it doesn't mean that you can't put it back after you've already started. No, you can put it back before you walk out of that store. If you've been going to a place you know you shouldn't be going to, you're married, maybe you're going to a place where you're just girls or women, or you're making bad decisions, stop doing it. Just because you did it last week doesn't mean you have to do it now. Just because you got in the car doesn't mean you can't turn around. Whatever it is in your life, whatever vice that you have, it is okay to stop a bad decision, to push yourself away from the table and make a better decision right now in that moment. My only hope is that somebody out there is, maybe you're in the process of doing that right now. You're on your way. You have that gut feeling that tells you, if you want to value you more, stop, turn around, and don't make that bad decision. Stop doing it. You'll be shocked at how instantly good you feel about yourself tomorrow. How instantly good you feel about yourself in an hour if you're able to be a stronger person right now and say, I'm not going to give into that this one time. Does that mean that next week you might not screw up? Tomorrow you might not screw up. I don't know. Let's not look at tomorrow. We want to value ourselves today is what we want to do. And all I can do is take one step at a time is all I would tell you. If you can make one better decision today, let's deal with tomorrow when it comes. And hopefully then you listen to the episode and you say, I'm going to make that bad decision. But no, I value myself right now. I value myself too much to do that. I value how I'm going to look at myself tomorrow, and I know how good I felt yesterday. And so if you're making that bad decision, whatever vice that it is, it's okay to stop. It's okay to push yourself away from that table. That's real strength right there, in my opinion, as a man, as a woman, as an individual, an entrepreneur. It's to be able to say, hey, I'm making a mistake, and I'm going to stop it right now. There's real value that you're going to find within you. Hope you found some value in this episode. As always, we try to bring this stuff. We don't get paid for it. It's just an opportunity to be able to talk to you one-on-one, to be able to hopefully bring some insight and some value into your life. If you like what we said, I encourage you, please go ahead and leave a comment below on YouTube and make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We appreciate each and every person that does that. Hope we brought some value to your life today. My name is Patrick Carr. We'll see you next time on The Patrick Carr Show.